Right now, I'm going to show you how to use the Sony ZV-1F. This is a great point and shoot camera. It's perfect for beginners and it's just a really easy camera to use. I've used it to make a couple hundred videos. I've had this camera for some time now. So first, let's go ahead and go over the camera and just some of the basic buttons and functions. So here on the side, this is where you're going to plug in a microphone, a USB cable or your charging cable, and then HDMI cable. So if you wanted to kind of export this to another device, you could use that. You can use this cable as well. I've plugged it into the cameras for live streaming with this cable. That's your USB. You can plug it right into your computer. And this is your microphone input here. So if you have an external mic, that's where you will plug it in. Here on the top, you have your shoe mount or your shoe bracket, and this is where you're going to put your microphone if you have an external microphone. So here you just slide in your microphone there. You just slide it into that bracket there, and then your microphone might have a kind of a locking mechanism here. You just screw that down, and so now this microphone is kind of locked in place. Then you'll just need to plug that in. So this is the microphone that I use for some other content when I don't want to put an actual microphone on somebody, and then you just plug it into the side here. A couple different things about the microphone. You do have some that are not compatible. So for this one, you're going to need a TRS input. So that's tip, ring, sleeve. So it's a your microphone is going to have this plug here that has two black bands on it. So sometimes you'll have a microphone that's not compatible, and that might be the issue. So some of those lavalier mics might not work with your camera, and that's going to be because of the plug that you are using. Tip, ring, sleeve, TRS. Just remember that and keep that in mind. So here we would plug this in here, and that would be how you would set up a microphone on it if you are using an external mic. And then if you had a lavalier mic, like kind of like a wireless system, which I do have, I use a different one, and that's the one that I'm using to record right now. But you could also slide that in, plug it in here, and then you have a wireless setup. On the top here, you've got your basic controls here to turn the camera on, switch through some different modes. That's the record button. You have the toggle here to zoom in and out, and then you have this button that does a defocus if you want to blur out the background. Here, these controls right here, you've got your menu button, display, FN, and then, which I actually don't use that very often. You've got a wheel here that you can spin to select the different menu options. You have your button here, which is like your enter button, so your select button. You have your play button, so you can watch things that you've recorded and play them back, and then you have your delete button to trash to delete something if you want. On the bottom of the camera, you do have the door here. You just slide the lock over, and it's spring-loaded, so it'll just pop right open. And from here, you're going to put a standard size SD card inside. I use the micro SD card with the adapter, but that's easy. So it's a little press. It clicks in, you press it again, and it kind of pops out. And then here's the battery. It does have a little latch here that you can just push over, pull out the battery. So if you have more of these, you can charge them multiple and then just kind of swap out batteries as needed. I typically just charge mine overnight, and it does come, of course, with the Type-C charger. And then the bottom here, you do have that little screw, so you can put it on a tripod or any other adapter that goes in there. So the cool thing is as soon as you open it up, it automatically turns on. Now you've got the lens cover here, and you just pinch this here or pinch up here, and then you can take off the lens cover. Now here we have the screen here. Now the screen is a touch screen. So if you push this button up here, you can toggle through the different displays on the screen. And this is just going to show different menu options here. And you can actually set this up more inside of the settings. So let's just kind of go through these. So here's kind of the standard screen. I like to have the audio on. So see right here where it's turned on the audio, and that's audio coming through this mic here. So see, I've stopped talking. If I gently tap on the microphone here, you can see we're getting audio there. You can get a little bit more detailed here. So this little toggle here allows you to know if your camera is straight or not. So if you're trying to get a shot lined up where everything's straight, it lets you know if it's straight, and it does kind of left to right and up and down to let you know if you're straight. and your shot is straight, which is good because sometimes you'll get into post-production and you'll realize, oh, I was off center the whole time. So that is helpful, but I don't always use it because my tripod that I have has a one itself, so I can balance that way. So if you want to get into settings, so here, this is kind of your focus button. So if you wanted to adjust some more of your focus here, you could hit that FN button, and here now you have your different options here, kind of quick options. You could do your audio to turn that up and down, and this is your audio gain. So I like to keep it around 15, and then in post-production I can turn it up or down. But what I found is that if I'm higher than that, then I end up peaking, and it's harder. You can't fix the audio once it peaks and it's distorted. It's harder to go back and kind of fix that. So if you want to adjust some of that, you can kind of pick and choose there with that button. If you want to go into some of the more deeper menu options here on the right side, you can push the menu button here, and now you can set a lot of different options here. You can do your white balance, tons of different things, which the nice thing is about this camera is that when you put it in auto mode and it comes in auto mode, it pretty much helps you with all of these settings. So we're not going to dive into a lot of these today because these are more of your advanced settings, but I will just show you one here. So you're going to go down to your exposure and color, and you're going to go to white balance. So white balance is kind of one of the more common things that people want to set. Now, when you're in intelligent auto mode, you cannot set your own white balance. So you need to switch out of that mode. So you're going to go up to the camera here, and you're going to go down to shooting mode, which is number 4, shoot mode, and then you're going to switch that to a different setting, right? So you want to be, you can come all the way down here to manual. Now you can push the OK button here with your thumb, or you can push on this side here with your thumb to select that different menu option. So now let's go back here. So we are in manual mode there, as you can see. Now we are going to go down here so you can set your white balance by yourself if you want. And then you can pick your difference. So pick and choose here. If you have a preset, you can do auto, you can do daylight, shady, cloudy, sunny, different things like that. And then here on custom, if you come all the way down to custom, you can actually set it. So you would hit the set button, and then you can white balance. So usually you'll put up a card here, and then you will push capture, and then that will set the white balance based on what it's actually seeing, and it's identified the white card, and then it sets the different white balance there. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of cancel that and get out of there. A cool quick way to get out of it is just to hit menu, 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 and it kind of goes back. So you can toggle out of that, getting in and out of it. Now up here on the top of the camera, you have this button here, which is going to toggle you between photos, videos, or S and Q. S and Q is for your slow motion or quick motion, and that is going to be if you want to do like a time lapse or you want to record something in super slow motion. So here we can see in the upper left hand corner, it's showing us the mode that it's set in right now. So it's manual video mode because it looks like a little video camera. It's got the M next to it. So let's push this button here and toggle between the different modes here. So now it's in slow motion. So anything I record will record 2 times slow. And then if I hit that again, now we're into the photo mode. So I don't use any other option really other than videos. I record kind of, demos on how to use products, and I record talking head videos. So I don't really utilize photos or anything else. So let's go ahead and get back here to our video mode. So toggling through it's really easy. Now I'm going to go back into the menu options, and I want to reset everything. So sometimes you are going to maybe put a setting on that you don't like, and it's going to, kind of mess everything up, and you want to go back to factory settings. So here, if you go all the way down to your last option, it looks like the little briefcase, you can go the second option down to reset settings. Go ahead and hit OK there, settings reset, and then just follow it through and hit OK. And this now will reset it back to the factory settings, and it just takes a couple seconds. So now it's back on intelligent auto for your video. So it's just going to do that all by itself. And that's kind of really how I like it, is your factory settings. So the screen here, it does swivel pretty much 180 degrees and more. So you can switch it, flip it this way, and then flip it back here. And then you can flip it around this way, and then you'll see me here. Oh, I'm kind of washed out by the lights there. But this is for you so you can monitor yourself while you're recording maybe some talking head videos or something like that. So let's go ahead and show you some other settings here that can be very helpful. So here, one of the cool things is that it has this object, what is this called? It's called SC. So it automatically focuses in on an object that you get close to it. And that's helpful because if you are trying to highlight something, maybe you're doing product reviews and you want it to automatically focus on whatever's kind of right in front of it as you're holding it up. And that really does come in handy, and it's actually helped me when I'm doing my tutorials and kind of my how-to videos, because when I get the camera close to something, it automatically focuses in on that item, and that is very helpful. Now you can turn that on and off here. Oops, I pushed the another button here, which is for other options. If you want to turn on a timer or something like that, you can do that. But it stands for product showcase. So when you turn that on, it's basically going to autofocus on whatever is close. And when you turn it off, it doesn't autofocus. You have to kind of manually tap the screen for it to focus on an object or track something. Another cool feature here is this button right here that's got the little mountains and the person next to it. And that is going to defocus your background. So when I push that button, you'll see here, it says background defocus, and then you can toggle back and turn it off. So one's clear, one's defocus. And that helps you put separation between your subject and the background. So it does work. It kind of just depends on the background that you are using. Sometimes it's not as noticeable, especially when I'm inside and the background's a little bit closer. But if you want to, if your background is far enough away, you can try and kind of experiment with that. And it just puts some separation between your subject and the background, and it's a cool effect and kind of a trademark here of this Sony ZV-1F, and it's easy to toggle on and off with just the click of a button. Now here you have your little rocker here to zoom in and out, so it's just got a little bit of a zoom, 2x zoom, so it's not massive. I typically don't use it. I usually just record as the widest shot as possible, and then I zoom in post-production if I need to. And then finally, one last feature here that I want to show you as a as a beginner when you're just getting used to it, and that is how you format your videos. So here, go into your menu options, go to the video options here, and then right at the very top, it's image quality. So your file format, so if you want to record in 4K, you can. I do everything in HD, but you can do 4K, and this is your personal preference. So that's file format, and then if you go down to movie settings, here is where you can change your frame rate. So you can do 60, 30, 24, or 120. So that's up to you, depending on what you are recording. Pick the one that works best for you. 120 is probably if you want to slow something down and do a slow motion. 60 or 30 is really kind of the standard there, is usually around 30. So that is it. Hopefully that was helpful, and now you feel comfortable and more confident using your Sony ZV-1F. If you like reviews of tech and household items, feel free to check out some other videos and consider liking and subscribing. My name is Drew. I'll see you in the next one.